look.
Rain and rain and rain and rain.
It's just too many days in a row.
It's crazy how bad this flooding is.
This gloomy, doomy rain is just, I'm over it.
Well, we knew it. I said, there's water coming in the door.
The rain and the clouds and the temperatures around 50. It was just dismal.
When will the southeast soaker finally end? People have had enough of the rain, the clouds, the fog, and all the problems they've been causing, but we have some good news. We're about to show you when, yes, sunshine will return. Welcome to Weather Center Live. I'm Nick Walker.
And I'm Bonnie Schneider. Dave and Alex are off today. Well, the sun couldn't come out at a better time. You've just been waterlogged in the southeast, and this is one of the problems. Hours of heavy rain that led to flooding in Jacksonville, Florida on Sunday. Some areas received about 12 inches of rain in just a few hours. Streets and homes like this one flooded out. The water poured in before the owner had time to move his belongings to higher ground.
All right, let's take a look at how long we've dealt with the rain and the clouds. Look at this. Cloudy days in Atlanta, 9. Count them so far this month. Birmingham has seen 8. We've seen 9 in Raleigh, North Carolina, Jackson, Mississippi, and Charleston, South Carolina, both with 8 so far this month. And the wet days, well, almost as many. 9 in Atlanta, as many as 8 in Raleigh, and in Charleston, we've seen 7 of those. I think we're finally going to get to turn off the spigot here. The clouds are still over us here, and it looks like the rain, well, it looks like we're going to find ourselves with more of that rain for a little while longer before the sun finally returns as we head into late tomorrow and on into Wednesday. Boy, that is going to be a big difference we're all going to love, especially here in Florida, which was very hard hit over the weekend. And we continue to see more rain and thunderstorms coming into Tampa, Spring Hill. A lot of lightning with this as well. Jacksonville looking a little bit better. Still some showers around the area, but all of that rain that we had there yesterday has moved northward. So Charleston up toward Georgetown, you're going to get a taste of some of that. Back inland too, Columbia, South Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, seeing some of that rainfall. Could be heavy at times. Up toward Raleigh and on into Roanoke, Virginia. We could see more of this heavy rain, particularly in some of those higher elevations. Watch Richmond getting some moderate rain now coming in. And Washington, D.C., the rain is on your doorstep even as we speak. You'll see more as we head through the latter part of the afternoon and into the evening. Matter of fact, watch the timeline here as we head through the rest of the day. D.C. getting wet. You'll see that into the evening and during the overnight hours too. And then by the time we get into tomorrow morning, you'll still be dealing with that wet weather during the morning drive, probably escaping it in New York and Philadelphia, but you too will see some of that wet weather encroaching upon you by mid-morning. Here's the cause of it. We've got the strengthening area of low pressure, and as this moisture is just drawn by that area of low pressure inland, we'll see more of those showers here tomorrow from the mid-Atlantic northward, and we might even get a little bit of moisture from our tropical storm Kate entrained in that. We'll have more on that in 10 to the hour. Then by Tuesday night, more of that rain coming into portions of New England. It looks like rainfall could be overall about an inch or so. Some areas are going to receive more, probably pockets of 1 to 2 inches here in the higher elevations of Virginia, on up into Pennsylvania and back along the Ohio-Pennsylvania border there. Here's Boston's forecast. You're going to be okay, I think, until we get into tomorrow night. That's when the wet weather makes its way toward you, lasting all night long and into the day and afternoon on Wednesday. Bonnie?
Thanks, Nick. Well, the next storm system we're tracking comes with the threat of severe weather by the middle of this week. Computer models are suggesting the potential for tornadoes. Storm specialist Carl Parker now joins us from the lab with the risk area. And Carl, are you still really confident that we're going to see the potential for tornadoes this Wednesday?
I certainly think there is a chance. You've got very strong winds. There's a lot of shear that's going to be setting up in the atmosphere, but what we won't see is a tremendous amount of instability, and we'll talk about that here in just a moment. And let's begin with a look at where that storm is right now. Yet another powerful storm coming into the west. That is great news there in California. There's the spin in the atmosphere right there. Very strong jet stream disturbance also coming out along with that, and we're going to watch this thing move out and into the plains Wednesday and into Thursday. So here we're looking at the mid-level energy in the atmosphere. This is sort of a proxy for where the lift is, and notice that really concentrated feature right there on Wednesday afternoon and evening. Kind of looks like a fist. That is a very powerful upper level disturbance, and you've got really strong winds in several levels of the atmosphere associated with that. But notice also that we've got a high pressure that is centered here now across the mid-south. That is currently driving moisture away from a good part of the southeast. On the back side of that, we've got a little bit of a return flow, so a very narrow channel of higher moisture content air that's just beginning to come up into the plains. There's not going to be a terrific amount of it. So when we think about that low level moisture in conjunction with the cold air coming in aloft, the difference between those two things in terms of temperature, that's how we come up with the potential energy for storms, and it's a very narrow swath of potential energy. What that means is not necessarily great big billowing storms, but rather more modest storms that punch up a little bit, but not a tremendous amount. But what we will see is very strong mid-level wind, very strong low-level wind, and so where those storms do punch up, they'll take advantage of those wind fields. Some of the storms could acquire some rotation, and certainly some of them can tap into that wind and bring that momentum downward. So there's going to be a significant damaging wind threat even with low top storms that develop here. So here's the high resolution model forecast. Start to see some storms really popping up by Wednesday afternoon there in parts of Iowa and Missouri, getting into western Illinois. Could be some tornadoes along with that, could be some individual cells. Then you've got a line of storms that take shape going into Wednesday evening, moving across Illinois, getting over into Indiana with really strong winds coming up and feeding into that line in the low levels, and that's why the damaging wind potential is going to be very high indeed across a lot of the Midwest. Bonnie, over to you.
All right, thanks so much, Carl. We appreciate that. Big time heads up for a lot of us.
Absolutely. Well, the same storm system bringing the severe threat will first make snowboarders and skiers very happy.
And when we return, we're tracking the wintry side of this storm, how long the snow will last, and just how much will the ski resorts get.
When the weather starts turning cooler and the air is nice and crisp, I know that fall has finally arrived. And with it, all the flavors of the season. Fall is all about bringing people together around delicious food. And each recipe brings as much enjoyment as the company.
Low prices on everything you need to make every meal more memorable. Walmart.
If you're approaching 65, now's the time to get your ducks in a row to learn about Medicare and the options you have. You see, Medicare doesn't cover everything, only about 80% of your Part B medical expenses. The rest is up to you. So if 65 is around the corner, think about an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company. Like all standardized Medicare Supplement insurance plans, they help cover some of what Medicare doesn't pay and could save you in out-of-pocket medical costs. So don't wait. Call to request your free decision guide and gather the information now to help you choose a plan later. These types of plans let you pick any doctor or hospital that takes Medicare patients, and there's a range of plans to choose from, depending on your needs and your budget. So if you're turning 65 soon, call now and get started, because the time to think about tomorrow is today. Go long.
We are the party's last and only hope. Lord, help us.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. tonight. Cloudy intervals, low 72. Winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 89. Winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday night, partly cloudy, chance of a thunderstorm. Low 72. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
We're geeking out on what's happening in weather, how it happens, and why it's so freaking cool.
Weather Underground, weeknights at 6 on the Weather Channel.
Come to Boston Market for a full menu of meals featuring our fresh, never frozen rotisserie chicken starting at $6.99. And this holiday season, spend more time with family and friends. Let the holiday experts do the cooking. Boston Market, all good.
How do you do the holidays? Pick a Christmas tree or put one together? Colorful lights or classic whites? However you build cheer, the Home Depot is here. Trade in your old lights for up to $5 off LEDs. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
I'm ready. Intel's best processor is here. So you can take this very real, very terrifying memory and edit it, share it, play it back in 4K quality.
Introducing Intel's new 6th generation core processor. It's our best processor ever.
Attention, Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to internal bleeding.
If you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and were then hospitalized for internal bleeding, call the Goldwater Law Firm.
The makers of Pradaxa have agreed to pay $650 million in settlements. If you took Pradaxa or Xarelto and were injured, call us right now.
You may be entitled to substantial compensation. Call 1-800-902-8844. That's 1-800-902-8844.
Heavy snow in the Sierra Nevada mountains made driving a challenge. This video shot yesterday near Donner Pass shows just how hard the snow was coming down. Up to a foot fell at higher elevations. 20 plow trucks were out in full force, treating highways and clearing snow. Well, I hope they're ready for more snow to fall because it is on the way. This storm is the second one. We had one last week, but this one will likely bring more measurable snow. So here we are. You can see on our satellite perspective that little dip there in the jet stream. It's really the beginning of the cooler air coming in, diving down all the way into central California. And Sierra Nevada definitely covered with snow, but more falling right now. And we're also getting some snow into Montana and Idaho, especially in the higher elevations there, and some light scattered showers up into the northwest. But this is where we're getting more rain and even some lightning. Look at that, Monterey, Salinas area. The rain is coming down. It's already moved through the Bay Area, working its way towards Fresno, into Modesto. This is really interesting. If you go along I-80 in this area, you're really having quite a range of elevations. We wanted to kind of break it down to show you just how the rain will change over to snow, and the temperatures are so dramatic as you go up and up and up. So Sacramento at 24 feet, 51 degrees, no problem. But once you start getting up to Emigrant Gap, you're over 5,000 feet. Truckee certainly almost at 6,000 feet. It's 36 degrees there. So that's where we're expecting to see more heavy snow at these higher elevations up along I-80. But be careful. Be careful driving on these interstates because we're going to be seeing not just the snow, but also the wind, especially higher up, and that's going to make for low visibility. So here's the way it's shaping up: 1 to 3 inches in some areas. The Sierra Nevada looking at potentially 8 to 12 inches. And looking back at last year, we didn't have quite the snowpack that we have right now. This is a satellite perspective from NASA, and you can see already we're covered in snow in this part of the country. So more on the way. Nick?
Well, the Sierra, no stranger to heavy snowfall. As winter weather expert Tom Nizzle explains, it led to a tragic chapter in our history during the winter of 1846-47.
It's a place known for huge snowstorms and strong winds that produce thick blowing snow, the kind that makes it tough to see and requires plows to clear. We're talking about Donner Pass in the Sierra, named for a tragedy that happened nearly 170 years ago in this California mountain chain. A group of pioneers led by George Donner and James Reed spent the winter of 1846-47 snowbound in the mountains with snow as deep as a 2-story building. As supplies and food ran out, some of the 48 members who eventually reached California resorted to cannibalism to survive the harsh climate in the mountains. The Sierra Nevada is no stranger to heavy snowfall. Back in 1952, 26 feet of snow was recorded on the ground at one point. And we do know from personal records of some of the pioneers that as much as 20 feet of snow was on the ground back in that winter of 1846. So what type of winter pattern could cause this kind of snow? Well, if we take a look, we don't actually have weather records from back then, but some of these really snowy winters that we had, as an example in 1952, were accompanied by major storms that came out of the Gulf of Alaska and worked their way southeast toward the west coast of the United States. As they set up across the Pacific Northwest, a strong plume of moisture off the Pacific Ocean brought all of that moisture across the crest of the Sierra, where it fell as a lot of snowfall and a lot of strong winds as well. The area saw hit after hit after hit of heavy snow in the fall of 1846. October storms buried the vital Sierra Pass in 6 feet of snow in early November. A storm that lasted 8 days pounded the mountain with rain and snow. When skies cleared November 13th, snow stood 10 feet deep above 7,000 feet. And then another storm at the end of November dumped 5 feet more snow, sealing the fate for the luckless Donner Party. It's an amazing story of brave pioneers seeking new lives who, through several wrong choices, ended in the loss of many of those lives. And it's a testament to how powerful and unforgiving nature can be. For the Weather Channel, I'm Tom Nishal.
Attention Americans eligible for Medicare. Changes to Medicare plans could significantly impact your health care costs. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Call Health Markets and we'll help you find the right Medicare plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetzy. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. My advice? Don't go it alone. You can get smart, unbiased help finding the right coverage for you.
Call Health Markets today. We searched thousands of Medicare plans from leading insurance companies. Plans that may cost less, cover more, with more choices like dental and vision care, and freedom to choose your own doctors, all at a price you can afford. We find the right plan for you, and we do it at no cost.
If you miss the Medicare deadline, you may have to wait a year before enrolling. Please don't wait.
Call now. 1-800-217-3285 and let Health Markets find the right Medicare plan for you. That's 1-800-217-3285.
Working on my feet all day gave me pain here.
In my knees.
But now I step on this machine and get my number, which matches my Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotic inserts. Now I get immediate relief from my foot pain.
My knee pain.
Find a machine at drscholls.com.
Everybody ready?
The cushy job. The big yard for the kids to play in. A dog. The American dream. It's a beautiful thing. Alaskan Bush People season premiere on Discovery. Check your local listings.
Before there could be a nation, there had to be people willing to fight for it. To take on the world's greatest challenges, whatever they might be. So the U.S. Army masters not only tactics and strategy, but also physics and chemistry. We make battle plans and create breakthroughs in medicine, science, and engineering. Our next mission could be anything, so we prepare for everything.
We are the party's last and only hope. Lord help us.
The Now South Florida, a show that has a finger on the pulse of what's happening right now. It's fast-paced, upbeat, usable news for busy people.
The Now South Florida, letting you know what's happening right now.
Weekdays at 4 on WPTV, News Channel 5.
We're empowering South Florida families with information to protect what's yours.
We're here to share practical information you use every day,
so you can get more out of your money and more out of life.
Empowering you to protect what's yours on WPTV News Channel 5.
Roll out the welcome mat and ease into the holidays during City Furniture's Fall Home Sale. A complete queen bedroom, $9.99. A 5-piece dining set, $8.99. A leather sofa, $6.99. Plus, shop online anytime at cityfurniture.com. And enjoy free shipping and no interest for 18 months. Your holiday magic starts at City Furniture.
We're
geeking out on what's happening in weather, how it happens, and why it's so freaking cool.
Weather Underground, weeknights at 6 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 72, winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 89, winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday night, partly cloudy, chance of a thunderstorm, low 72, chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Hey, if you're a skier, you'll love this. Vail, Colorado, looking like a winter wonderland already. Things are shaping up nicely for the town, even though the popular ski resort doesn't open for another 10 days. More snow fell over the weekend. Vail has received 30 inches of snow so far this season, with 16 inches of it coming just the last 7 days. Well, get ready for a little more icing on the cake, little white icing for you. And Denver, you will be among those receiving measurable snowfall as well. Starts as rain tomorrow night about 11 p.m. Then during the overnight hours, as temperatures cool down near and below freezing, we'll see that snow begin to accumulate on into your Wednesday morning. So we're looking for more of this snowfall over a widespread area here of the west. This upper level low has already moved in and it's deepening, and it's going to bring some much colder air here than we've seen into areas around the Rockies and the Wasatch and eventually on into the plains as well. That area of low pressure at the surface is going to help draw in some moisture around that from the south, and as this low deepens, we're going to see some pretty windy conditions as well. So we're anticipating seeing blowing snow that could reduce your visibility. Watch out if you've got travel plans here on into midweek. Snow and wind, not a great combination. We'll see them both here as we head into tomorrow, particularly in the higher elevations from Nevada on northward to Montana and on into Utah. The Wasatch and the Rockies Tuesday night and on into Wednesday. We'll get a taste of this snowfall. That's when the snow begins here around Denver, lasting into the day here on Wednesday. And it looks like Sterling, Colorado Springs will receive some too, and on up towards Cheyenne, Wyoming as well. Here's what one model indicates that we're going to see the timing of all this. Note the time up here. Tuesday afternoon, we see that snow coming into the Rockies. I-70 already beginning to be impacted here. Denver will be impacted during the nighttime here on Tuesday and on into Wednesday morning. Looks like it might be a little troublesome for a lot of us trying to get to work quickly anyway here in Denver on into Wednesday morning. 2 inches of snow there. Roughly through Wednesday, 4 inches around Estes Park and probably a couple of inches around Cheyenne as well. If you live southward here along Interstate 25, like down toward Pueblo and southward, not looking for much, if any, snowfall here, but it will be blowing in the wind. And watch how these winds really begin to gust as we head on into Wednesday afternoon, 40 to 50 miles per hour. And Bonnie, we're going to see more windy conditions prevail even farther toward the east.
Absolutely. Like in Denver, Colorado, we're getting ready for our first snow of the season. Oh, I'm excited for that. You wouldn't know, though, looking outside at Denver at this hour. It looks nice and sunny and mild, 56 degrees. But you know how it is in Denver. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to see snow in the days to come. You could have one day where it's sunny and warm, the next day blizzard. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's talk about what we're looking at. Is high pressure gradient for tomorrow. High pressure further off to the east, but it's the low pressure coming in, and as it advances in, it's a really strong deep low. They're coming close together. We're getting what we call a strong pressure gradient, and that's going to just enhance the winds. We already have a wind advisory posted for places like Dodge City, Kansas, as well as into central New Mexico due to the strong winds, and that will kick up on Tuesday into Wednesday. So here's what we're looking at. Tuesday afternoon in Kansas City, the winds are as strong as 25 miles per hour. Dodge City at 20. Oklahoma City, they start going up and up all the way to about 40 miles per hour. And windy weather for Chicago as well into St. Louis. 20 to 25 mile per hour winds. Notice how far south this stretches. The winds will be strong in western Tennessee as well throughout the mid-south, getting all the way up to 30 miles per hour, gusts stronger than that. So breaking down your forecast, it's a good thing we have such mild temperatures ahead. 65 into much of St. Louis with a chance for storms. And as we check things out in Kansas City, similar weather, but notice those winds will be picking up by the time we get to Wednesday. Wednesday's going to be a busy day, Nick, between the severe storms, the wind, and even the snow in some places.
I tell you, we got a lot of things we're going to be talking about come midweek. That potential for severe weather in the plains. Well, after the break, we'll show you when the greatest chance for storms will be, and the region with the highest risk of seeing tornadoes.
If my hands are dried and cracked, I can't do my job efficiently.
My hands are dry from washing my hands lots of times a day.
O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for dry, cracked hands.
O'Keefe's works.
I saw it working for my husband, and I knew I had to try it.
Learn more at o'keefescompany.com.
O'Keefe's. Guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked hands and feet.
I take Prilosec OTC each morning for my frequent heartburn. Because you can't beat zero heartburn. The sweet taste of victory.
Prilosec OTC. 1 pill each morning, 24 hours. Zero heartburn.
I'm ready. Intel's best processor is here. So you can take this very real, very terrifying memory and edit it, share it, play it back in 4K quality.
Introducing Intel's new 6th generation core processor. It's our best processor ever.
This is Henry. Expertise, staining carpet. But this is new life-proof carpet with stain-resistant technology built in to help keep tough stains out. Let's do this. Get any carpet installed, including new stain-resistant life-proof, for free. Only at the Home Depot.
There's a big difference between retirement and a secure retirement. Well, you may be standing right in front of the difference between uncertainty and knowing that everything's going to be all right. It's your home. Turning your home's equity into cash when you need it is a simple way to eliminate your existing monthly mortgage payments, pay off debt, and get you and your family the financial resources you need. It's a loan that your home pays back instead of you making monthly payments, the way you do with a traditional mortgage. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you may qualify for a government-insured reverse mortgage. Now, we all love our homes. Why not just stay there using a reverse mortgage with AAG? It could be the perfect solution. Call us today to receive a free information pack with no obligation that contains a helpful 3-part guide and DVD. You'll receive a guide to reverse mortgages and how they work, including the many consumer safeguards that protect you and your home. Also, our important all-new reverse mortgage retirement planner that explains the many ways a reverse mortgage could provide stability and security for your retirement. We then add a guide filled with information for children and loved ones. It's got what you need to know about reverse mortgages and how they can play a vital role in your retirement plans. Call 1-800-414-5930 to receive our all-new information pack, all absolutely free with no obligation. Call 1-800-414-5930. That's 1-800-414-5930. Real retirement security makes all the difference. Find out more about what a reverse mortgage could do for you. Call 1-800-414-5930 to receive our all-new information pack, all absolutely free with no obligation. Call 1-800-414-5930. That's 1-800-414-5930. AAG, the best advice for a better life.
Thursdays, the Weather Channel drops you into a new season of nature's worst-case scenarios and asks, so you think you'd survive?
It's coming toward us!
The hit original series is back to put your survival skills to the test.
Could be the last mistake you make.
Oh my God! So You Think You'd Survive, all new Thursdays at 10, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 72, winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, intervals of cloud. Tuesday night, partly cloudy, chance of a thunderstorm, low 72, chance of rain 30%. here's our 7-day outlook.
Closed captioning brought to you by Eggland's Best Eggs.
There's only one egg that just tastes better, with more vitamins and less saturated fat. Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Have you seen this yet? Take a look at this video out of Meridian, Mississippi. Amazing. A massive 50-foot hole opened up in an IHOP parking lot, swallowing up more than a dozen cars and trucks.
Now, this is a new constructed building. The IHOP just opened in Meridian, Mississippi. It was about, the town, of course, located 100 miles east of Jackson. Now, keep in mind, nearly 3 inches of rain fell in the area over the weekend, but it's not been confirmed whether the rain or the new construction is to blame for the cave-in. Incredible images there. Well, it's 5:30 on Weather Center Live. I'm Bonnie Schneider.
And I'm Nick Walker. Dave and Alex have the day off today. Talk about a gloomy weather day along parts of the East Coast. We're tracking more heavy rain headed for the Northeast for your morning commute. We're going to time it all out coming up.
But first, we have the early warning about the risk of severe storms and even tornadoes in the heart of America.
So let's turn to storm specialist Carl Parker for the timing and the setup of all this. And a lot of us really need to be aware of what's to come, Carl.
Yeah, that's right, Nick. And what we're looking at is going to be a damaging wind threat. There could be large hail as well, and even some tornadoes. And this is primarily going to be Wednesday and going into very late Wednesday, early Thursday morning. And the system that's going to do all this is now in the west. It's good news that we're getting some rain and snow there in California. Certainly a lot more active than it's been in years past. You look at this from a radar and satellite perspective, and it doesn't look like it's that significant of a system. Got some rain and snow coming into central parts of California right now, but when we add the upper level winds on top of that, there's a very large area of strong upper level wind that is associated with this big upper feature now coming through parts of the southwest, and a very strong jet streak, as we say, is going to come out and into the middle of the country. So we're going to get a lot of lift with that. Very strong low pressure and very strong wind fields as well coming into the center of the country. Now, looking at the moisture right now, it's pretty dry in the plains. Here's high pressure, and around that high, there's a flow that is offshore down into the Gulf of Mexico on the east side of that high, but a little bit of a return flow beginning to set up and coming up there into the central plains. So this is mirroring the character of what we will see going forward, a very narrow tongue of moisture moving up with some colder air coming in aloft. So limited available energy for these storms in that very narrow swath there. And then on top of that, we are also going to see those really strong winds coming through and interacting with that narrow swath. So rather than seeing tremendous uplift in thunderstorms, we're going to get limited vertical development in the storms, but again, really strong winds coming in from different directions and different levels of the atmosphere. And that's going to lead to, one, the possibility of some rotating storms, tornadic storms, and then also on top of that, the possibility of damaging wind as that wind energy gets eaten essentially by these storms, transferred down through these storms, and then taken out of the bottom of the storms. Excuse me. So here's the model forecast going forward, and notice how we see development in parts of Missouri into Illinois and into Iowa there on Wednesday afternoon. So that's when we could see some individual cells, discrete cells, possible supercell storms with the possibility of some tornadoes in addition to damaging wind and hail. And then more of a line is going to be developing late on Thursday, and along with that line of storms, it's going to be more of a damaging wind threat. And again, very strong winds coming up in the low levels of the atmosphere, and so even modest storms punching up into those strong winds aloft can transfer that energy down, and we could see widespread damaging winds in Illinois, in Indiana, the Ohio Valley, and up into the lakes, and then finally those storms begin to collapse going into early Thursday. So a pretty broad area of potential severe weather on Wednesday. You can move all of that farther east going into Thursday up into the Ohio Valley and lakes late Wednesday and very early on Thursday morning. Nick, Bonnie, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Carl. All right, let's time out those storms and the impacts on SkyTracker, showing you once again this area of severe weather that could include Omaha, Kansas City, and St. Louis. St. Louis, you need to be on your guard. Hail, damaging winds will be a threat, but isolated tornadoes as well between 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. But bear in mind that all along I-70 all the way back toward Kansas City, you could be in trouble. So if you're planning on making this trip here anytime on Wednesday, be aware that there will be threats during the afternoon hours, even during the morning here, 4 a.m. to 3 p.m. around the Kansas City area. The threats including, once again, those damaging winds, maybe some large hail, certainly the chance of an isolated tornado, a Torcon of 3, a 3 in 10 chance of seeing that. A little bit greater on the Torcon here in Omaha between 4 a.m. and 6 p.m., a 4 in 10 chance of seeing a tornado, damaging winds and small hail, also the threats here. But we got threats of more rain coming down in already waterlogged areas, Bonnie.
We sure do. We haven't seen the sun in days in Charlotte. It's a real soggy looking day out there, foggy, poor visibility with rain coming down. It's not just there. Much of the south is saying enough rain. We're ready for the sun to come out, but right now, not the case. Looking at the radar, you see light to moderate rain over the western Piedmont and North Carolina. More of that to come as we advance this map forward into the evening hours. Your commute tonight will be a rainy one. I guess no surprise there, into Clemens as well. And even into the overnight period, we're still looking at some breaks in the action, but still not completely dry. That will eventually happen. So while one place loses the rain, another gets it. Moist flow from the Atlantic, the storm system finally pushing to the north. So a little bit of a breather for the Carolinas and Georgia, but unfortunately for areas into New Jersey and Maryland, you're going to be seeing some rain all the way back into Pennsylvania. Tonight, look for scattered showers, light showers intermittent into Washington. And then by tomorrow for New York City, a little more substantial rain into central and western Pennsylvania. By Tuesday night, we're looking at wet weather all the way into New England. Nick, it is just looking really wet out there for the eastern half of the country.
And Bonnie, you know, too much rain too quickly, and this is what you get. Waterlogged roads and a setup for traffic accidents. This was the scene this morning in Panama City, Florida. But one American city has a plan to save lives and millions of dollars in damage. The Weather Channel's Dave Malkoff has the story.
When streets flood, they tend to stay like that for quite a while. For example, South Carolina's flooding in October.
One of the problems that you'll see are these little drains here.
As you know, most roadways have these tiny holes in them to drain the water away. But what if American streets weren't so waterproof? Would they flood less? The city of Atlanta is now in the middle of a $66 million green roads project. Crews are busy digging up century-old streets and replacing them with special bricks that soak up rainwater.
Okay, here, let's do it together.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, flash flood.
You see how quickly it then allows it to seep through, to infiltrate.
Oh, yeah, it did. It went right down into it.
Watershed Commissioner Joanne Macrina gave us a look. This is not Dorothy's Brick Road.
These bricks are specially made.
When crews lay them down, they leave spaces in between them to let water through, a lot like rain falling on grass.
So it both stores the rainwater and cleans the rainwater.
It's called permeable pavement, stopping a flood up here by sending it down here.
Way underneath the road, construction crews lay a series of pipes that actually bring the rainwater filtered by all these rocks into a nearby stream bed. It's flooded in every single direction.
On a traditional road, cans, trash, animal waste, whatever else is on the road just flows along with the flood.
This is more expensive, right?
It is more expensive. However, when you think about your traditional design, this is actually much, much better in our environment.
When it's completed early next year, this will be the largest permeable pavement project on the continent. The commissioner is already taking calls from other cities
such as Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Portland, Oregon, San Francisco,
all interested in making their side streets a little less flood prone. In Atlanta, Dave Malkoff, The Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 72, winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 89. Winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday night, partly cloudy, chance of a thunderstorm. Low 72. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
How do you do the holidays? Pick a Christmas tree or put one together? Colorful lights or classic whites? However you build cheer, the Home Depot is here. Trade in your old lights for up to $5 off LEDs. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
Awake! Intel's best processor is here, and it helps PCs wake up instantly, just like you did.
That's great, but do you mind?
No, I don't mind.
Introducing Intel's new 6th generation core processor. It's our best processor ever.
If I want to go up,
Hello.
if I want to go down, but then if I want to come back again, it's perfect. Now that we've added adjustable base, my favorite part is to be able to lift your legs up a little bit, lift the head up a little bit, and it feels like I'm just cradled.
I love the adjustable bed because I love it when I'm watching TV.
And there you have it.
And now, through December 1st, save hundreds on select Tempur-Pedic mattresses and adjustable bases. Change your sleep. Change your life. Change to Tempur-Pedic.
Introducing Metris, the mid-size van from Mercedes-Benz. It's got small ability and big ability, towing ability and stowing ability, rack ability and HVAC ability. It's fully customizable and sized just right to give you cupcake ability, entourage ability, garage ability, and even affordability. Starting at $28,950. Available in cargo or passenger from Mercedes-Benz.
Come to Boston Market for a full menu of meals featuring our fresh, never frozen rotisserie chicken starting at $6.99. And this holiday season, spend more time with family and friends. Let the holiday experts do the cooking. Boston Market, all good.
Approaching Medicare eligibility? You may think you can put off checking out your Medicare options until you're 65. But now is a good time to get the ball rolling. Keep in mind, Medicare only covers about 80% of Part B medical costs. The rest is up to you. That's where AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plans, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, come in. Like all standardized Medicare supplement insurance plans, they could help pay some of what Medicare doesn't, saving you in out-of-pocket medical costs. You've learned that taking informed steps along the way really makes a difference later. That's what it means to go long. Call now and request this free decision guide. It's full of information on Medicare and the range of AARP Medicare supplement plans to choose from, based on your needs and budget. All plans like these let you choose any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients, and there are no network restrictions. United Healthcare Insurance Company has over 30 years experience and the commitment to roll along with you, keeping you on course. So call now and discover how an AARP Medicare supplement plan could go long for you. These are the only Medicare supplement insurance plans endorsed by AARP, an organization serving the needs of people 50 and over for generations. Plus, 9 out of 10 plan members surveyed say they would recommend their plan to a friend. Remember, Medicare doesn't cover everything. The rest is up to you. Call now, request your free decision guide, and start gathering the information you need to help you keep rolling with confidence. Go long.
Attention, if you've had an IVC filter placed in you to prevent blood clots, the FDA warns these filters can fail and cause serious injuries and even death.
If you have a blood clot filter, you are at serious risk. Call the Goldwater Law Firm right now.
If you have a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Call us right now.
If you or a loved one has a blood clot filter, call 1-800-240-4300. That's 1-800-240-4300.
Check out some amazing scenes in Breckenridge, Colorado over the weekend. Just beautiful. Well, many of the major ski resorts from the Sierra Nevada to the Colorado Rockies were blanketed by snow last week. And the snow allowed several resorts to open early, including California's Mammoth Mountain and Colorado's Loveland ski area.
Yeah, and another round of powder is expected this week for many of those same ski resorts. But as Sam Champion shows us, all snow is not the same across the country.
While Vermont is known for wet, heavy snow, Colorado is famous for its dry, fluffy powder. The biggest reasons for these differences are elevation and proximity to oceans. Much of Colorado's snowfall comes from the Pacific Ocean, almost 1,000 miles away. But coastal mountain ranges absorb some of the ocean moisture on the trip. When the rest reaches Colorado's peaks, towering at over 12,000 feet, the leftover moisture hits drier, colder air, resulting in fluffier snow. In the east, Vermont ski resorts get some of their moisture from the Atlantic Ocean, and that's less than 200 miles away. This short distance means more moisture available for more snowflakes. And because Vermont's resorts sit at an average of just 2,500 feet, temperatures can be warmer, which leads to wetter snow. In fact, at times the temperatures can be warm enough for the moisture to start as snow, melt during the fall, and land as rain. Killington, Vermont's 250 inches of average annual snowfall come from just a few big storms. The top layer of its snowpack can melt and refreeze multiple times, forming successive ice crusts. In contrast, Vail, Colorado's 354 inches of average annual snowfall typically accumulates by steadily adding new powder about once every 3 days during the winter months. As a result, there's a big differences between these snow surfaces, and it can change how you ski. For example, the kinetic coefficient of friction, or traction, of skis against Vermont's ice compared to Colorado's powder can be as much as 2.5 times lower. So what does this mean in practical terms for the average skier? Well, a 140-pound person skiing at 10 miles an hour needs 125 feet more to stop on ice than they do on powder. That's the length equivalent of 2 train cars.
You've been Brainstorm. Sam Champion, the Weather Channel.
Well, we've got new powder on the way into the Wasatch and the Rockies as we head into tomorrow, while we'll be dealing with rainfall here from the Mid-Atlantic northward into New England on into Wednesday. Here come the storms onto the midsection of the nation. Omaha, Des Moines, Kansas City, St. Louis, Springfield, all be on your guard for severe weather. We'll see all that push eastward here on Thursday to give you a lot of wet weather and cooler weather, too, in the south. Look at this, 59 degrees in Atlanta, despite a little bit of clearing over much of the south and the plains. We'll still see that as we head on into your weekend. Still cool weather and cool enough for some snow up into those mountains of Vermont, New Hampshire. Here comes the next system on into Seattle. Watch for a kind of a wet day for the Seahawks game. We'll see mountain snow up into the Rockies as we head through the day here on Sunday. And it looks like Monday, some of that making its way into Montana and the northern plains. We'll also find more of that wet weather here once again across the south. Enjoy the drier days ahead before this next round of rain hits. Stay with us.
Right on cue.
It's more than just a meal. It's Meow Mix Mealtime. With great taste and 100% complete nutrition, it's the only one cats ask for by name.
Nothing artificial. Just real roasted turkey. Salt, pepper, carved thick. That's the right way to make a good turkey sandwich. The right way to eat it is however you eat it. Panera, food as it should be.
We always were told we were German. We were in a German dance group. I wore lederhosen, so I just started poking around on Ancestry. Then I decided to have my DNA tested through Ancestry DNA. It turns out I'm Scottish. So I traded in my lederhosen for a kilt.
We know you have a morning routine. We have one too. 7 days a week, AMHQ is right here and weather ready.
Where's the rain that's happening right now as you walk out the door?
A lot of people traveling, but we'll keep an eye on it for you.
Because the weather impacts your day in 100 ways you see and 1,000 ways you don't.
I want to make sure everybody can get an idea of what's happening here.
So include us in your routine.
Let's get right to what you want, and that is the weather.
AMHQ, every morning starting at 5 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 72, winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 89. Winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday night, partly cloudy, chance of a thunderstorm. Low 72. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This is Pete. Pete is helping his aunt move, so he's not thinking about tires right now. But if he were, all he'd need to know is TireRack.com. He could view the complete selection of Continental tires at TireRack.com. Then he'd have the confidence to drive safely in any weather. But Pete's not thinking about tires. Pete's thinking it would have been nice if his aunt had mentioned the Mynah Bird. TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
The Citi Double Cash Card comes in very handy with cash back twice on purchases. Earn once when you buy and again as you pay. That's cash back now and cash back again later. It's cash back déjà vu. The Citi Double Cash Card, the only card that lets you earn cash back twice on every purchase, with 1% when you buy and 1% as you pay. With 2 ways to earn, it makes a lot of other cards seem one-sided.
This is Henry, expertise staining carpet. But this is new life-proof carpet with stain-resistant technology built in to help keep tough stains out. Let's do this. Get any carpet installed, including new stain-resistant life-proof for free, only at the Home Depot.
I love you. Love you too.
One minute. Hi. We need to do this, yes.
Letting go.
I'll say a word.
It's a little easier when you've saved for college.
Mesothelioma victims and their loved ones may be entitled to a cash award from the $18 billion in asbestos trust funds. And you may not have to file a lawsuit to qualify. If diagnosed with mesothelioma or lung cancer caused by exposure to asbestos, call the number on your screen now. Even if a loved one had mesothelioma or asbestos lung cancer and is passed, your family may still be entitled to a cash award. Mesothelioma is a rare cancer caused by exposure to asbestos. Many victims worked in the Navy or in shipyards, mills, carpentry, roofing, insulation, construction, or automotive industries. For over 30 years, our legal team has successfully helped thousands of victims and families. Time is limited. You may not have to file a lawsuit if you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma or lung cancer caused by exposure to asbestos.
Call 1-800-948-6735. That's 1-800-948-6735.
We're geeking out on what's happening in weather, how it happens, and why it's so freaking cool.
Weather Underground, weeknights at 6 on the Weather Channel.
We're back with video you just have to see. A tourist driving from the airport in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic spotted this water spout over the weekend. No damage or injuries reported, but it really is an amazing sight to behold. Nick, what's going on down there in the tropics?
Well, we have Tropical Storm Kate. Yeah, and it's all about Kate here in this tropical update because we have a brand new advisory from the National Hurricane Center. The 4 p.m. advisory puts the location of the center of Kate at 90 miles southeast of the Great Abaco Island with winds of 45 miles per hour. It's pretty much stayed steady here with this wind speed for the last several hours. The central pressure is 1,008 millibars. It's moving off toward the northwest now at about 14 miles per hour. And on this track, it will eventually make a track more toward the north and then eventually off toward the northeast. I want to show you here the visible satellite picture. This is like if you had your iPhone up in space and just took a video straight down on the earth, this is what you would see. You wouldn't see, obviously, the Bahamas, but you would see all of those clouds there. And what is really interesting is you would think the center of the storm would be right about here underneath where it says the Bahamas. No, that's where the center of the deepest convection, the most thunderstorms are. The center, if we put these wind streamlines on, you can see it's farther toward the south. And so that's where the gustiest of the winds are going to be, whereas most of the precipitation is far toward the north. But those tropical storm force winds do extend toward the north about 90 miles out from the center. And so a lot of the islands here will see at least near or maybe above tropical storm force winds. We're talking about tropical storm warnings here that include much of the central and northwestern Bahamas here. Nassau to Freeport, you're going to be in this for a little while longer. Now, as this moves off toward a bit northerly direction, there's the front that's bringing that rainfall into the east coast of the United States. We'll actually probably get some of that moisture entrained in that, and that could enhance the rainfall from the mid-Atlantic into the northeast here over the next couple of days. But we've basically got weak shear over the system right now, and that's going to serve to mean that there could be some strengthening of it. And as it moves off toward the northeast, we'll probably see it move into an area of more severe shear, and so it will tend to weaken. Not before it strengthens, though, maybe even to near hurricane force. Bonnie?
Thanks, Nick. Well, the weather brought big impacts this past weekend, including too much rain, too much heat, and lots of snow. The Weather Channel's Anaritas Rodriguez takes a look back at a weekend of wild weather.
Customers inside a brand new IHOP in Meridian, Mississippi say they heard several booms. They looked outside and saw the earth had swallowed more than a dozen cars and trucks. This part of east central Mississippi has seen 10 inches of rain over the past 2 weeks.
It was unbelievable. I mean, 1 minute everything's A-okay, everybody's having a good time. The next minute the lights go out. It's total hysteria, and all you see are transformers blowing on the light poles outside. You know, blue lit up sky, and you're looking at about 50 feet of a sinkhole swallowing over 10 cars.
In Savannah, Georgia, heat and humidity combined to make the Rock and Roll Marathon a brutal haul Saturday morning. Temps reached the 80s. The air saturated.
We figured it might be in the 50s. When we got up and it was in the 70s, we did not expect this.
All the medical stations had a lot of people at them. I think a lot of people were cramping up from the heat.
One runner collapsed and died during the Savannah Marathon. Paramedics treated dozens of others for heat exhaustion. For safety reasons, organizers decided to end the race early. The spring storm season is in full swing in southeastern Australia. Severe storms rolled across Brisbane this weekend. Hail the size of golf and tennis balls clobbered the region.
Look, come in.
A tourist driving in from the airport in Santo Domingo, capital of the Dominican Republic, captured this tall, skinny waterspout off the coast on his cell phone. Witnesses see a strange light blitzing across the California sky, lighting up social media with wild speculation. It turned out to be a Navy missile test. And ski resort operators in the western United States are tickled pink over all of the white they're seeing.
The resort has picked up 2 to 3 feet of snow in the past 10 days. We're getting ready for an amazing opening day, the day before Thanksgiving.
I'm Anaritas Rodriguez, the Weather Channel.
It'll be nice to see the sun again soon.
Oh, that's for sure. We got all those raindrops. We'll talk about when they're going to go away.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 72. Winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 89. Winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday night, partly cloudy, chance of a thunderstorm. Low 72. Chance of rain 30%. Here's our 7-day outlook.